He was just an unnamed doorman at an old building in Chicago. She was a blind little girl, trembling in the snow, feeling her way down an empty street. Everyone passed her by, except him. He had no idea that every second of his kindness was being recorded, and the woman in the Rolls-Royce watching his every move had waited nearly 2 years to find someone like him. Jack Monroe, 39, once lived by ideals. A former bomb disposal sergeant who had kept his entire unit alive through Kandahar. But when he returned to Chicago, he was a faded figure, drifting, lost. His apartment was gone. The mental health bills, unpaid, uncovered. The only job he could find was manning a security booth. A coat with a faded patch, a crackling radio, and a booth by the side entrance of an aging building. No one called him Jack. They said, "Yo, doorman." "Hey man, buzz me in." "Grab my package, will ya?" That night snow fell like razors. It was so cold it hurt to breathe. Jack was locking up when he noticed a small girl shuffling through the snow. Braided hair, a dirty fur coat, a white cane, a blind girl. "Kid?" he called, stepping outside. "Where are you going?" She stopped, turned toward his voice, eyes staring past him. "I'm looking for someone," she said softly. He never came. At the end of the street, a Rolls-Royce Phantom waited in silence. Inside sat Victoria Sloan, 54, CEO of Sloan Holdings, a velvet-wrapped empire built on steel and ambition. Her eyes were locked on a tablet in her hands, live video streaming from a camera sewn into the girl's coat. Avenue 7 years old, Victoria's niece, blind since she was 2, after a crash Victoria had caused. The guilt never left her. But Victoria didn't cry. She acted. "I've built too many towers," she told her assistant. "Now, I want to find the humanity buried in all that concrete." She launched Project Echo, a secret mission. Ava, under tight surveillance, visited 11 cities. The test: would anyone notice her, stop for her? No one did. Until tonight in Chicago. On the screen, Jack knelt beside her. "You okay, kid?" "No one's looking for you tonight, but you can wait here. I've got tea." Victoria's voice trembled. He stopped. "Mark him. Bring him in." Jack brought Ava into the booth. There was nothing there, just a kettle, some old tea bags, and a folding chair. He wrapped a scarf around her, boiled water, and poured it into a chipped mug from his army days. "Tea's kinda crappy," he said. "But it's hot. That helps." She smiled, the first smile he'd seen in years. "You remind me of someone," she said. "He was kind, too." "Well, he taught you right," Jack replied, sitting beside her. He didn't know he was being watched, didn't know powerful eyes were locked on that tiny booth. He only knew that tonight, no child should be alone in the snow. 10 a.m., a knock on the booth door. A woman in a camel coat stood outside, badge in hand. "Sloan, Private Projects. We'd like a moment." Jack raised an eyebrow. "This about last night?" "Yes," she smiled. "And no, it's about what kind of man you are." Her name was Clarice Shaw, representative of a private initiative by Sloan Holdings. "We'd like to invite you to a private meeting, today. 2 p.m. location's been sent to the email you used to sign up for shifts." Jack frowned. He didn't like being watched. Didn't like people knowing his schedule. "I don't know who you are. I'm not looking for a job." Clarice didn't flinch. She pulled an iPad from her coat pocket and played a video, Jack and Ava in the booth. He froze. "You did nothing wrong," Clarice said. "In fact, you did everything right." She handed him a business card, thick, embossed, only one name, Victoria Sloan. 51st floor, the Orion Building, Chicago Loop. You saw what others didn't. Jack almost didn't go. But that afternoon he saw another blind girl navigating the sidewalk. Everyone walked around her. No one looked. He turned back. Changed jackets. Took the number 6 train downtown. The Orion building cut into the sky like a blade. The receptionist eyed him like he didn't belong, until he handed her the card. 51st floor, private elevator, left side. Victoria's office didn't look like an office. It looked like a library designed for emperors. Silent, still, and expensive. She didn't stand when Jack entered, didn't introduce herself, just pointed to the chair across from her. "Do you think you're special, Mr. Monroe?" "No," Jack said. "Never have. No one's ever told me that." Victoria stared at him for a long moment, then placed a folder on the table. Photos, Ava's, notes, locations she'd visited, all the people who'd passed her by. "She's blind because of me. I sent her across the country to see if society still sees the unseen. You're the first person, after 19 months, who stopped." Jack looked her in the eye. No emotion, no drama, just something cold and honest. "I didn't do it for a reward." "I'm not offering a reward," Victoria said. "I'm offering a role." She offered him a job, a new unit, ethics and senior oversight at Sloan Holdings. Jack would investigate projects Victoria suspected of exploitation, corruption, or cruelty, full authority. No reports, except to her. "You see people, Mr. Monroe. Not everyone does, especially when no one asks them to." Jack didn't say yes, but he didn't say no. "1 month, that's all I'll try. I don't need privileges, I need truth." "That's enough," Victoria replied. Week 3. Someone tried to frame Jack, accusing him of leaking documents to the press. Victoria brought him in. "They think you're garbage, a washed-up soldier. That's why I chose you. They won't see you coming." "Am I allowed to do whatever's needed?" Jack asked. "You're allowed to do what's right," Victoria said. "And sometimes right means staying very, very quiet." 26th floor, closed boardroom, 12 executives, Project Evergreen Heights, a scandal waiting to explode. Jack was summoned, not as staff, but as the accused. They wanted to quietly remove him. "Mr. Monroe," an older woman said, "we've found evidence your email was used to leak internal documents. Care to explain?" Jack said nothing. Instead, he pulled out a hard drive. "I have 43 audio files, 17 videos, 6 signed memos, proving Deputy Director Richard Crane ordered falsified reports, threatened staff, and covered up structural failures." Silence. Jack pressed play. Crane's voice shrieked, "Just file the fake one." "That neighborhood's poor. No one checks." "Shut it off," someone hissed. Jack stood. "I've been in war zones. There, when walls fall, people die. Here, if you let this happen, you're still killing people, just with pens, not bullets." Minutes later, Victoria entered. No announcement. "I've heard enough," she said. "Richard Crane, you're suspended immediately. Evergreen will be fully audited. Every drawing, every dollar, public. Jack Monroe is now head of urban ethics. Anyone who disagrees, resign." No one moved. But from that moment forward, Jack wasn't the doorman anymore. 2 weeks later, an internal memo. Launch of Cities That See. A new initiative for the homeless, the disabled, and veterans. Jack's idea. He didn't want to attend the ceremony, didn't like stages or applause. But that morning, backstage, Ava appeared. Red sweater, hair in pigtails, white cane in hand. "You don't remember me?" she asked. Jack knelt. "I never forgot." Victoria smiled gently nearby. "Ava would like to say something, if you'll let her." Ava stepped onto the stage. Tiny, but her voice rang clear. "When I walked through so many places, People didn't see me, but once, someone did, just once. He didn't ask what I needed. He brought me inside, gave me tea, asked my name. If everyone stopped just once, the world wouldn't be so cold. The room was silent. Then the applause came, quiet but certain. Not admiration, respect. 1 year passed. Jack still had no fancy office. He worked out of an old file room on the ground floor. He opened the windows, read handwritten letters, reviewed reports from ethics investigators, many of whom were once homeless or voiceless themselves. Same chipped mug. Same morning Lipton, no suit, no name on the door. "Who are you?" a new hire once asked. Jack smiled. "The one who sees." On the shores of Lake Michigan, a new public park was opened. A sign by the entrance read, "The Ava Monroe Pavilion, built for the ones who saw when no one else did." Inside, kids played. People stretched for yoga. Free food stands opened every Friday, sponsored by Cities That See. Jack sat on a bench by the water, Ava, now 9, beside him. She tilted her head. "Uncle Jack, do you think people change?" Jack thought for a long moment. Number. But sometimes, the world slows down just enough for someone to finally see. If you've ever felt unseen, like Ava, or ignored when it mattered most, your smallest act of kindness may still be remembered. Someone's watching. And someone is ready to believe because of you. If you've lived through that moment, share it in the comments. And if you believe in seeing what others overlook, we're still here, telling these stories every week.